Good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk about limiting beliefs, limited future. Welcome to Coffee Rants. And if you haven't liked or subscribed, please do that now so I can stop begging you. I'm trying to grow the channel, and your help and support really helps me do that. So limiting beliefs equals limited future. You know, I can barely think of anything more dangerous in my life than having a belief that, basically is negative that we decide to actually perpetuate. And what I mean by that is like, let's just take like a belief like as simple as I'm not a morning person, right? So you believe that that's just part of who you are, right? And so by continuing to say that to yourself, to continually just quote that, out of your mouth to other people, you are reinforcing that that's true about you. And so what ends up happening is you can't really have a better life than the one that you believe inside your head. Did you know that? You cannot have a better life than the one that is in your head. So if your life in your head, the future that is in your head is bad, then you can just be pretty sure that that's what's going to happen. It's incredible how much we control how good our lives are. And that starts in your mind. So a limiting belief, I actually just looked it up, is a state of mind or belief about yourself that restricts you in some way. So just like the example that I gave, I'm not a morning person. Some that are a bit deeper are, I'm not talented. I don't deserve love. I'm not successful. Now, you might not be successful, but by continuing to tell yourself that, you are reinforcing that that's just how life is for you. And that's part of who you are. It's not even something that has happened to you, or maybe you just haven't had a lot of success. That's different than saying you're not a successful person. So it becomes part of your identity, and you actually reinforce that inside, and you continue to believe that. And so there are a lot of people walking around with these limiting beliefs that are absolutely limiting their entire future. And I've actually had the chance to go through it with somebody recently with their vision board. And you can't really have a vision board without addressing these real negative beliefs in your life. And so you have to kind of address them, and you got to kind of actually come up with the antithesis of them. So I'm not a morning person, turns into I love getting up in the morning. Now, that might sound like you're lying to yourself. And in a sense, you are trying to fake it inside your head until you make it. But you can actually just gradually get there. I actually, it's an interesting example because I wasn't a morning person for a good part of my life. And then later on, over half my life, and then became a morning person to where I actually really enjoy getting up in the morning. So once you start telling yourself, I really enjoy getting up in the morning, you go, wow, you actually kind of have this different attitude about it. So you have to kind of almost mentally trick yourself in some ways. To start to believe the opposite of maybe the voice that's been in your head for so long. And so there's a lot of people that it's really sad that they kind of reinforce these things in their life. They almost want to prove to us that they're not a success. They want to prove to us that the world has victimized them. And that's true in some cases, right? You might have been a victim to something. People are. However, by continuing to tell yourself that story, you actually relive that victimization every day. And that's different than just being a victim once. It's one thing to be a victim from something somebody does to you, and it's another thing to be a victim of something that you're doing to yourself. And so I would just encourage you, and there's a great book by Tony Robbins that I'll put in the comments that kind of walks through this, but I would encourage you to start to identify those limiting beliefs and then start to go against them. It's a long process. It's not something that happens overnight, but it's something that I highly suggest you do. I honestly believe it will change your life. So anyway, as we get going for 2024, let's start getting the story in our minds going in the right direction, so that we can actually accomplish the goals and find a amazing, future that we want to live. So anyway, True Coffee Rant, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.